Greetings, wrestling fans. Welcome to the Squared Circle Maniacs Pro Wrestling Podcast. And here are your hosts, the Hot Pockets impresario, Johnny Bottles, and the neckbeard psychologist, Dr. Don Wayne.
All right.
Hi.
That's us.
That is us. Welcome to the show. Thank you all for joining us. It's been a week from hell, but it gets better from here, I think. Football's back, and we got to see some crazy wrestling last night. Johnny, so much news going on to talk about today. So many things going on in this world. It makes you want to sing sometimes.
Sometimes it does, Don. Sometimes it does.
Want to hear a song? Want to hear it? Here it goes. Watch out. TV ratings a disaster. Oh, Tony. 660,000. I tuned in to watch a guy go burn down a house. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Holy shit. We got it all, pal. Bring your marshmallows. It's time to roast.
All I can say is it was a good angle to close the show.
We're going to get there. We're going to talk about it.
We'll get there. We'll get there. We have a
so
circuitous route to get to it, but we will.
Thank you all again for joining. Please like and subscribe. Hit that notifications button on the channel. We will get you out of here in time for Thursday Night Football. I know that is on everybody's mind right now. That's got everybody riled up. But first, I want to talk a little bit of news before we get into AEW, because there's been a lot to cover this week.
Yes.
We talked about this a little bit earlier today. I've got some concerns about one Mr. Hulk Hogan. And I'm not talking political. I'm not getting into that. I'm talking about some of his comments as of late when making the rounds on Logan Paul's podcast and some of the things he said in some other areas.
Oh, really?
Did you see some of the shit Look,
Hogan was dumb. I saw all that bullshit. I did.
Hogan was my favorite wrestler as a kid, but there's no way you can convince me now he doesn't have the onset of early dementia or some sort of a CTE issue going on, combined with the alcohol he drinks quite a bit of, with the pain pills he's got going on. Some of the comments are just outright outrageous. He said, let me make sure I get this right, Hulk Hogan fears for Mike Tyson when he gets in the ring against Jake Paul in November. He's afraid Jake Paul might kill him.
What?
Did you see those comments? Yes.
I didn't see that comment, no.
Yes. Said he was afraid Logan Paul might kill him because he's so old. And he fears for the man.
These are comments all off the Impulsive podcast, correct?
I think, this was some of the behind-the-scenes stuff, too, that they're now releasing. Because I'm sure Logan Paul sat down and said, don't release all of this shit in one day. This is gold. One of the most recognizable wrestlers of all times is just falling all over himself, saying the most outlandish shit I've ever heard in my life. It just, he doesn't stop. There's a couple of things I want to point out just on this alone. Mike Tyson actually fought a couple of years ago. I want to say it was during the COVID era. It might have been right before it started. I can't remember, but it was Roy Jones. And I was hoping it was going to be a fight. It wasn't. It was one of those sparring contests where two old timers get in the ring. It's just, you don't hit the shit out of me and I don't hit the shit out of you and we'll make this look good.
Right.
And I've heard some of the comments from Roy Jones Jr. after the fight. He said a couple of times Tyson was getting a little bit too intense, like that old mentality and that fire where you could tell was starting to burn. So he went, whatever it was, 8 rounds at his age then a few years ago against another professional. I have no doubt in my mind that if he wants to put Logan Paul down, he can do that. It's not going to be an issue. I'm sorry, the other Paul, Jake Paul. That wouldn't be an issue. Jake Paul is building a career off of beating ex-fighters that are past their prime. Now, I'm not saying that it's not impressive because he's never had a real professional fight in his whole life, as far as I know. He calls these professional fights. I don't know if they're sanctioned by anybody, so they get in the ring and just have it out. So that was one area that I wanted to cover on real quick. Just on the face, it sounds ridiculous, does it not?
A lot of everything he said on that podcast and behind the scenes sounds ridiculous. Are you going to bring up what he told Logan Paul?
I was going to let you bring up a few points. You had some stuff you want to talk about, too.
He told Logan Paul that Logan Paul, he could see him being the #1 babyface and the world heavyweight champion. in less than a year in the WWE. He says, what you should do is you should join up with Roman and join his bloodline to fight the other bloodline. I'm paraphrasing right now. I'm not going to go into all the particulars of what Hulk Hogan said, because he seems like he's a little demented right about at this stage of his life. But he's, 71 years old? He just married some young shiksa. So another young shiksa he could give away a third of his money to. He doesn't care anymore. He's just living a life. He's found God and Jack Daniels, and he's enjoying life right now. And he doesn't care what comes out of his mouth. So, screw him. If he wants to talk crazy stuff, crazy talk, let him talk crazy talk, Don. That's the way I see it.
Did you see anything of the other crazy things that he had to say?
I saw it pertaining to Logan Paul. And
there was one real big nugget that I don't know if you saw.
Oh, about Chris Benoit.
No, I'm not even getting into that. I won't mention that son of a bitch's name.
Okay.
I'm not ever going to mention that guy. That guy gets no time on this show.
Oh.
Yeah, he gets no time here. He said he did not exercise his creative control at WCW.
Oh, yes, I did see that. What? Oh my God in heaven. That's a steaming bag of bullshit.
Dude, that's a lie and a lie of lies right there.
Ah.
I mean, you can.
Good Lord.
I never exercised my creative control. What's been the knock on him since he got there? What has he always complained about? Everybody has always complained that he exercised that creative control all the time.
The infamous phrase was born from Hulk Hogan's reign.
Yes,
in
it was.
WCW. That doesn't work for me, brother.
Such a load of shit. It borders on insanity, to be quite honest. That doesn't work for me, brother.
What's he got right now? What's he got?
I don't know what
he's got. His name. He's got his name. That's it. That's all he's got left. He can't go in the ring anymore, of course. He doesn't have the largest arms in the world anymore. He's not a Hulkster anymore. He's not a Hulk. He's not the Hulk. Paint him green, pal. Won't make him look any better. He's just washed up Hulk Hogan is what he is. And the acting career, you could tell by all the offers he's had, all the big movies he's done, all the TV series he's been in lately. They're not there.
No.
Just not there because he's not Hulk Hogan anymore. He's a shriveled up old man with a bad back. And a do-rag with fake hair sewn into the back of it. He doesn't really have that blonde mullet. That's all bullshit.
Yeah.
That's sewn into the do-rag.
But wait, it gets better. Now, I haven't been on Twitter this week, and I want to talk about that a little bit on AEW. I've had a real busy week. I've been in lawyers' offices all week. I've had about enough. I've been around liars and lawyers, and I couldn't tell the difference. So, not going to get into that. What I am going to talk about is the one Hulk Hogan tweet that I saw this week, where he put a tweet out and said, I got my new Dodge Charger or Challenger in the shop. The air conditioner won't come on. The technicians can't figure out why. This is the problem. This is the problem. Is there anybody out there that can help me? I'm out of ideas.
What?
I swear to God, this was a tweet he put out.
That's something that a 61-year-old housewife would put on Facebook.
I can't get the pickles open. Can one of my neighbors come over and help me? He's out
Sean,
begging for
Sean
somebody
next
to
door.
help him.
Sean, Larry across the street. If you can read, if you're online right now, come on over and open my pickle jar up. Oh God, I can't get the bill out.
I believe he put that out there, begging anyone to come help. You have the Dodge Mopar guys looking at your car. If they can't figure it out, I got news for you. That thing's screwed. It's called a lemon. Use the lemon law and get another one. That shit's over. I mean, my God. That's just some of the things I saw coming out of Hulk Hogan this week that just made me shake my head and go, man. And then Sting did a run-in, and they said, you're not tan enough. We're not giving you the belt.
Right there at the garage. He's in a waiting room, drinking a coffee, and Sting does a run-in with a bat.
Yes.
Bust the windows out of the Dodge Charger.
It's my car now. You're not tan enough, brother. Doesn't work for me. It is what it is at this point in time.
Good Lord.
You also had some news you wanted to talk about on a certain AEW lawsuit.
Yeah, Don.
You've been following this way closer than I have.
If you remember Ring of Honor from the golden era, from the salad days of Ring of Honor, the golden era, you remember a man named Dalton Castle. He came out somehow attired as Freddie Mercury, and he had two Cabana boys with him. They were dressed in loincloths. They had feathered hats. They would fan him with these island-type fans, and they would attend to his every need. They were called the Boys. Dalton Castle with the Boys. That's how they were billed. The Boys got released from AEW probably about 9 months ago, I would say.
Not just them, though. Not just them.
Not just them, but hang on a second now. This all dovetails together. It fits together nicely. The Boys were released because they don't have a vehicle. They don't have a car. And they would always fly out from an airport, which is like 5-10 minutes away from their hometown, from where they live. They could always Uber or get a neighbor or a friend, a family friend, a relative to give them a ride to the airport.
To get there. I get it.
Yes, they would have no problem flying out of that airport. Well, AEW started booking them at an airport that's 6 hours away from where they live. Their departure was 6 hours away. Now, AEW, the trans department of AEW, transportation that is, I should say. I have to clear that up in this day and age. The transportation department of AEW is not firing on all cylinders. They left Stephanie Vacker at the airport, no ride. They left Punk stranded in London a year ago for that Wembley show. He had to rely on his own transportation. He took the subway.
Somebody recently was left again. I can't remember who it was. Recently was left somewhere.
That was Stephanie Vacker. When they had the Forbidden Door show. The Mexican girl who just signed with WWE. And she wrestled Mercedes Moné at that Forbidden Door show. And she said, that's it. I had enough of this bullshit. I'm out. Because he wanted to sign her so badly. And she said no. But they booked the Boys to go to the airport 6 hours away from their house. They had no transportation to get there. None of their friends were going to drive them 6 hours. And 6 hours back. To come back home, the friend.
Right.
So
but there was a bigger name that was released. There was a much bigger name.
It all fits into this. So they had issues with AEW, and they were contemplating filing they were fired because of no shows. They weren't showing. They weren't making the shows, the TV tapings for Ring of Honor, because they had no way of getting there. And they were emailing, they were texting, they were doing everything they can to keep the lines of communication open and try to clear their names, saying, hey, look, we can't get there. We kept telling you, go back and book the tickets. Can't you transfer the tickets down to this airport, this airline, to this airport? I don't understand it. And it all fell on deaf ears. They let them go. Tony Khan released them because there were no showing dates. This brings us to the Saturday Night Collision, AEW Collision announcement.
Now, this is the part that I think is the most important part, personally, because from what I can tell, Kevin Kelly did nothing wrong from what I've read. He did nothing wrong. They just unceremoniously let him go. And what it looks like to me is because he wasn't part of that clique, is how it reads to me, is that he wasn't one of their guys.
Clique. Wasn't part of the clique. He's a great announcer. Older guy, naturally. He was in the Attitude Era. I believe he was a Shotgun Saturday Night announcer with JR, if I'm not mistaken.
It was one of those guys, but the kicker.
He made a lot of those shows. He was a backstage interview and all that good stuff at WWE. Anyway, to make a long story short, Kevin Kelly came out online on Twitter and praised the movie when it came out last year, the year before, The Sound of Freedom, about the human trafficking of children. And he said it was a great movie, and more people should see it to become aware of the problems with human trafficking and child trafficking. Well, he got branded as a MAGA guy, a QAnon guy. If you're into the politics and the conspiracy theories online, you would understand those terms. He was branded as a conspiracy theorist on a Discord server channel. Now, I'm not hip to what the kids, are all into with Discord and all that good stuff. Don't know anything about it. Apparently, it's a bunch of online chat rooms where you can talk wrestling with your favorite D-level wrestling celebrities like Ian Riccaboni, the Ring of Honor announcer.
You're going down a rabbit hole here, Bottles. You're going down
Ian Riccaboni was the guy who was good friends with Kevin Kelly. He said he was doing a great job. They were great friends. Ian Riccaboni turned on Kevin Kelly in the Discord chat room and dragged his name through the mud, talked about how he's a Trump guy, he's a maniac, he hates trans people, he hates blacks, the whole 9 yards. Ran him through the mud, and he's a QAnon conspiracy theorist, blah, 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 blah. And he got released from AEW Collision. And he felt that he was fired unfairly, but it is what it is. It's the nature of the beast in the wrestling business. Well, when he had to go for his exit interview and fill out a bunch of forms and sign off on a bunch of things for his settlement package that they owed him, as per his contract, he forgot to sign on one of the lines on one of the pages.
That's what's alleged now. That's what's been alleged.
That's what's alleged. That's what he claims. The money was deposited in his bank account. When they saw that the paperwork was somewhat awry, they took all that money back out of his bank account through direct deposit and direct withdrawal. I
don't know if it's true or not. I don't know what's going to happen here.
Yeah,
all I can say is just like any lawsuit, this is what's going down. It is odd, though, that Kevin Kelly was released because Dave Meltzer gave him the commentator of the year like the year before he was fired. So it's just really odd. So I'm looking to see where this goes. Does he get paid? I thought it was a very interesting lawsuit when I saw it the other day. I was like, wow, this is kind of wild. Like, people are claiming that the transportation office was screwing up. That's why they didn't make dates. Kelly's saying I got fired because of political reasons that are unbeknownst to me. I'm going to look forward to seeing how this goes down. It's a very odd situation, especially considering I thought Kevin Kelly was the best commentator that they had. I want to thank everybody again for watching tonight. Please like and subscribe. Hit the notifications button. It helps the algorithm on the YouTube channel.
Well, I don't know how the Tate twins got mixed up with Kevin Kelly and all this, but they filed a joint lawsuit against AEW for unlawful firing and amongst other things, and also because they're independent contractors. They're labeled as independent contractors, but they weren't independent contractors. AEW paid for everything. Nothing came out of their pockets. So with that being said, they have Jim Cornette's lawyer, Stephen P. New, that's been acknowledged online by Stephen P. New, and I guess he'll get to the bottom of things.
So I'm looking forward to seeing this go down. Also, in other news, we have been talking recently about WWE not having a pay-per-view or PLE in December and January, right? The Royal Rumble this year is in the 1st of February, so that was a little bit odd to us. We didn't really understand that, and no PLE at all in December was really odd. But I also remember they signed an exclusivity deal with the NBC network to have exclusive content with them, and we wondered then, would it be like they bring back a Friday night's main event or a Saturday night's main event? Well, lo and behold, today they announced NBC is going to have a special coming up here in the very near future, and I believe they even said the ticket announcements were coming out or have come out. So, just by the way it's built right now, it sort of makes you think they're going to have a PLE in either December or January for NBC, a PLE-type show, I should say. I don't know if it'll be commercial-free, but it's nice to have a wrestling show back on main TV that's not just about all the interviews. You know what I mean? Like, there's going to be matches announced. It should feel like a PLE-type card. I'm looking forward to that because we haven't had that in a really long time on any channel, to be quite honest.
Should be good. Should be good. Looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward.
Have you heard about this? You know, WWE is working with TNA. TNA stars are appearing on NXT.
Do not go down this rabbit hole I think you're about to do with Cody Rhodes.
No.
Okay.
No, not at all. Not at all. Revolution Pro is a indie promotion. And the owner of the indie promotion, Revolution Pro, Andy Quildan, reveals why he didn't want to partner up with WWE like TNA is. He claims WWE would have had the option to buy Revolution Pro as per the contract. I wouldn't say we didn't want to work with them. I think it was very much on the table for us to work with them. Like I said, partnerships have to be two-sided. We had the conversations. One of the terms they used was, we're bringing you under the WWE umbrella. It's a loan deal. I forgot how it was termed. Like, loan your footage or X amount of time for the network, And at the end of the term of the contract, they had the option to buy. And it's like, option to buy the footage? No, the whole promotion, Andy. The whole promotion. I think that's a little bit of a leap when you get to that stage. Then what's going to happen to you? Are you going to get a job there? Can you get fired? Is there going to be a non-compete? What happens?
Hold on. Do you believe that at all? I mean, be honest.
I do believe that.
I don't believe
that.
I think that's somebody blowing smoke trying to get some notoriety for his promotion. That's what that sounds like.
Promotion? Come on, not that promotion.
Dude, again, make it make sense. Where is the upside for WWE to buy them out? That doesn't make any sense. When they could just buy the wrestlers that they like and leave the rest of that gobbledygook that I've never heard of on the side of the road. It just doesn't make any sense.
Now appearing on the side of the road, Revolution Pro.
Look at this Fido's ass over here. I don't believe that for a minute. This sounds like Carney talk to me, just like somebody tried to put a rumor out there that Cody Rhodes was going to get into a big, huge main event rivalry with their champion on TNA, Moose. And I was like, no, I don't see that either. You don't do that to your megastars. Maybe Moose comes to NXT and you do something there, but I can't believe Cody Rhodes is going there for a single second. None of that makes sense. None of it. Would you put Roman Reigns on that show?
We don't make the news, Don. We just report it. That's all.
Yeah, that's not news. That was just a flat-out lie. That's somebody trying to get some hype for his show. That's all that is. Are you ready to talk about AEW yet? Are you ready to go down and roll in the pigs?
Are we going to talk about Raw, or are we going to talk about AEW, or what are we going to do?
Well, we can talk about Raw real quick. It's been days now. Everybody's seen what they wanted to see. Rhea Ripley's a star. We've said that. The moment with her foot in the ropes, absolute highlight of the entire show, in my opinion. She's elevated Damian Priest. Yes.
By coming back and pairing up with him. Elevated Priest. Elevated Uso.
Just those moments in the match with her in the show, that's what I remember the most. There were a few other segments, refresh my memory because they're not all coming back. There was a lot of women interaction in this show. I remember that much. There was a lot of the women's gangs going after it. There was a lot of that.
The little Pure Fusion Collective. You had the
Wait a minute. There's one part I remember where the 3Ls got in the ring and one of them said something like, there's not a man here that could get us or something like that. And I saw it on Twitter and somebody just put in the comments.
That could take us. That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
Somebody on Twitter put in the comments, well, no shit. So that popped me pretty good. That was a good comment. I don't know why, but it did.
Io Sky and Kairi Sane, the end result of that match was Kairi Sane got her eye socket, her eyelid ripped open.
Yes, that was the other part. Holy shit, dude.
Yes. Well, one of the witch girls threw Bianca Belair too far ahead. If Bianca Belair would have just stayed right where she was, she could have caught Kairi Sane. But she threw her too far forward as Kairi Sane was coming off the top rope.
Bam.
And overshot. But it would have been worse if Bianca didn't put her arm up to grab her. It would have been worse. She could have broken her neck. She could have busted her teeth out.
That eye could have come out the way it was looking. Dude, that eye was immediately bloodshot red when she got back in the ring and they all posed for the camera. That thing looked hideous.
She got I forgot how many stitches she got. She posted on Twitter. She had to get stitches. She looks like looks more like a pirate now. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there.
The bottom line was Raw was a good show. It did like 1.65 million. It was a strong show. I'm looking forward to seeing it in the future. This move to Netflix is going to be huge. SmackDown's last show on Fox is tomorrow night. And there has hardly been a peep about it. So something huge has got to pop off to make sure people know to watch here in the next week or so.
All right. We forgot one thing with Raw. What do you think of the lead announcer, the new guy?
Oh, yeah. Joe Tessitore. Buttery smooth. It was refreshing to have a guy like that, a professional play-by-play from a sports background. I thought he did a great job. This was a great addition by the team. He's going to be money moving forward. I can't wait to see what the future holds with this guy. I want to thank everybody for watching tonight. Please like and subscribe our channel. Hit that notifications button. The super chat is open again. If you got something you want to say or you got something to comment on, let us know.
Yes.
We'll get you on here. But I thought Joe Tessitore was absolutely amazing. Amazing.
Next Monday, or if you have it on tape, you didn't delete it from your DVR, play the tape back. Play the tape back. It's not a tape. It's a file.
I am
Play
an
the
old
show.
man.
I'm an old man. Play that Betamax tape back.
Where's the camcorder?
Where am I? Go ahead and run the show back and close your eyes and listen to Tessitore. He sounds like a young, Mean Gene Okerlund in the timbre of his voice. You can almost hear Mean Gene coming out.
And we talked about this on the show Monday before it went live, but I told you that I didn't think Drew McIntyre and CM Punk were over yet, and they're not. I said there was only one angle that was left to have the blow-off, and that's what they're going to have is a cage match. I hope it's a first blood cage match. That's what I prefer to see. We'll see where it goes. But to close it out, Drew McIntyre broke the bracelet up and crammed it in his mouth, and then gave him a stretcher angle, attacked him backstage on the stretcher, blood coming out of his mouth.
Try to gouge the man's eyes out.
It did this is great, man.
Lord.
It was great. This has been my favorite rivalry in probably 5 years easily. It really has. I think I like this better than CM Punk and the Bloodline. I mean, better than Cody Rhodes and the Bloodline.
When's the last time you saw the color commentator get up and try to break something like that up?
I know.
You never see that. Barrett was there. Drew, you're going to get suspended. Drew.
And when Drew shot at him, he was like, whoa, never mind. Yeah. I don't want that action. Great. I can't wait. Hell in a Cell coming up. Cage match. That's going to be fun. That's going to be fun for the whole family.
Fun for the whole family. Bring the kids. Order a pizza.
I'm in such a good mood, and we're going to talk about this now. It's just going to kill my vibe. But we got to talk about AEW. Like we said to start the show, 660,000 people tuned into this. It is one of the lower-rated shows of the past several months. They always say that the prior week's show is what's going to drive your ratings for the next week's show. Raw proved that to be a fact. Last week's Raw wasn't very strong. This week's number was down by, 150,000 people or so, somewhere in that neighborhood. It kind of goes to say last week's AEW show wasn't very good. We said it was horrible.
Terrible.
Here we are a week later, and the ratings are down again, down to 660. There was a moment where 800,000, it wasn't a joke. It was a decent number. It wasn't overly strong, but at least it was a really, 800,000 was a pretty good number. Then they got the sevens and they stayed there for a while. Now they can't even get back in the sevens.
Can't even get back to the sevens.
And I noticed on the Big Bang Theory lead-in, this was on for an extended period of time. So what was their lead-in number for this whole show? Because this was a very long lead-in.
810,000.
Shut the hell up. Their lead-in for the first quarter was 810, and they averaged 660. This thing fell off a cliff somewhere.
It gets better.
Oh, I think you mean it gets worse.
It gets better, pal.
Burning down a house. Daniel Garcia came out to lead this show off. Did you notice something about Daniel Garcia's entrance and his little screen in the background?
Get him off my TV. Just get him off my TV.
Did you notice anything?
I don't even want to look at his entrance or him. Ugh.
I don't even want to look at you, Danny. You're not the same.
I still say that when he was cutting that promo on MJF, he had his hand out like this. He had it written on his hand, the bullet points.
He might have. I noticed that.
He pulled a Miz. He had it written on his hand.
What I noticed was they didn't have the video screen of him anymore dancing like a goof. They're trying to make him serious. And he literally ran to the ring like he was just fired the hell up. There's a point. I'm not a wrestling guy. I don't know how the hell it works. I just know it when I see it, right? I know it when I see it. When Stone Cold came out there, he had a purpose when he walked to the ring. He didn't run to the ring. He wasn't sprinting and then getting on the mic and saying a million words. He had a purpose in what he was doing. The Rock the same way, Ric Flair the same way, John Cena, CM Punk, they all walk out there with a purpose, but there's no hurry.
Right.
This felt like a lot of hurry in what he was doing. I got to hurry up. I got to get in the ring, and I got to start talking really fast. And that's what I wrote down. He's called out MJF, and he's talking fast. He's saying a lot of words together as fast as he can. He really was. Did you notice that at all?
He was trying to get the words out before he forgot them.
You think that's what it was? Like he was
Probably,
shit, okay.
Yes. Probably,
but I want to applaud
They probably
you.
told him what he's going to say. He was probably memorizing it for the last hour and a half. And he said, I'm not going to be able to remember all this. And then he probably ran to the ring and got it all out. A verbal hemorrhage.
Diarrhea.
Verbal well, I don't want to go there. I don't want to go to that end. All right, verbal diarrhea. A fount of diarrhea. Verbal diarrhea. Got it all out, and it was ridiculous. MJF slowed it down, talked very deliberately, interacted with the crowd a little bit, told him to shut up, he's talking. And then more blood tasting.
Hold on.
More blood
Then
tasting.
Gil said Garcia is the worst wrestler on TV. The worst. Thank you for the $1.99, Gil. We appreciate your support as always.
He's not the worst
I can't
wrestler.
argue with you. I said for the longest time, I can't stand the dancing goof. He's not my guy. I don't care. He's getting all over my MJF. He's bringing him down. But this is what I want to talk about real quick.
Wait a minute. Hang on a second.
MJF.
Hang on a second. This is a company that employs Orange Cassidy and Commander. And the Beast, Mortos.
Hero.
The guy wears the goat thing over on his head.
Yes.
And Jack Perry.
Minotaur.
And Jack Perry. So
And the
Garcia's
Sub-Zero guy.
The Sub-Zero guy, I guess.
What's his name?
Sub-Zero.
What's the Glacier Sub-Zero's guy's name? He's on the
Hologram?
Saturday show. Hologram. That's the guy.
Hologram.
I've seen this before. It's not going to get
Daniel
any better.
Bryanson.
Same guy.
Same guy.
This sort of got my attention because you've talked about this openly on the show. You talked about this openly on the show several times.
Yes.
Garcia talked about MJF's hair implants that he got in Turkey or some shit. You have mentioned this several times on the show.
Yes, he got plugs.
Golf claps. You've mentioned it. He called him out. He's had them. It's there. He
Yeah.
talked about his acne issues that are going on, talking about the fake tan that he's got going on. And then here we go. It always comes back to this bullshit. He talks about MJF doesn't love AEW. I love AEW. I love it here.
Kumbaya, my lord. Kumbaya.
Every time these guys get a chance to kiss Tony Khan's ass, they use it. It's sad and pathetic.
God.
When the wrestlers do it in the WWE, it's just as cringeworthy. It's always been my dream to become the world champion. Shut the hell up. Nobody wants to hear that shit. Nobody cares. I want you to get up there and brag when you win a title. I won this because I'm the baddest son of a bitch in the land. I'm the guy or I'm the girl. I'm the what makes this company run. You should be thanking me that I'm here. Not, I'm so happy. It's so great. It's so great to see all of you. I was just in my basement. This is so wonderful. Do I have Cheetos on my hands?
Daniel Garcia, if you're watching this, or if someone watches this and tells you this, you'll never get that job of tongue cleaning Tony Khan's ass. Dax Hardwood has that job.
It is cemented.
Cemented. Dax Hardwood has that job sewn up. So when he dies, Gun FTR will have that job.
This whole thing came off as flat to me. It didn't feel like this thing had any kind of heat.
Terrible. No. How you
I
get
was
heat with
looking
Daniel
at-
Garcia?
I'm looking at MJF, and I literally wrote this down. Does MJF have on fake ears? Did you notice his ears were like orangish gray? Like they were fakes. Like he had fake ears covering his ears.
It might be a little too much fake spray tan on his ears.
It looked horrific.
Yeah.
I thought this was going to be one of those segments where they went back and forth 3 and 4 times. Thank God it didn't. MJF makes a weird comment about laying in bed and getting, some sort of a sexual act done from Garcia's, mother. And I'm like, all right, we're doing mom jokes now. Like, come on, man. What are we, 8 years old?
Why can't they build Garcia up with a series of squash matches once a week, maybe on Collision, Rampage, show clips of it on Dynamite, maybe have a couple on Dynamite, just beating the hell out of people, of lesser-known guys, squashing them, and then have him get the referee to pull him off and, have him be a deranged lunatic because all he wants to do is do that to MJF and build him up that way. And so this shit is just, it's fake. Well, it's all fake, of course. We know that. But it's so forced. That's the better word. It's too forced. Trying in a hurry between pay-per-views to make this guy into a killer. And he's not. He's a moron.
2 weeks.
And look,
we got to make this guy a killer in 2 weeks.
2 weeks. And he's always getting his ass handed to him by MJF, who likes to taste his blood for some reason. To
back up your forced area, Garcia then beats up like 20 security guards to get to MJF, which is complete lunacy to me. It's absurd when this kind of shit happens. I hate this in wrestling when the face or the heel beats up a whole stack of men to get to somebody.
That come at him one at a time.
No, they were all holding back. They just fought them all off. Yes. Just awful. He gets to MJF. Here comes a bottle of wine right across your head. They do the same promo they did when he knocked him out the first time back in July. He literally takes his fingers across his forehead that's covered in blood and licks his fingers. Is this the Twilight Saga, the series, that terrible vampire show? What the hell are we doing here? Did we not learn our lesson from a year ago when Numbnuts drank the blood in the ring? That was just the most disgusting act ever. There's nothing cool about this shit. No grown man knocks out another grown man and goes, let me flick my fingers. Let me get my tongue in there.
I hope it was fake blood. That's all I can say. I hope it was fake blood. And I hope they shaved that bottle down, Don. I hope they shaved the bottle down like they shaved the chair down. Yeah.
Well, there's ways to do that I've heard about. Like, you could crack it in the back with a little pin and a hammer and then bake it in the oven for 350 for an hour. It'll break on contact with anything hard. Leave you fine.
There you go.
So, thanks for watching, everybody. Super Chat's open. Please like and subscribe. Hit that notifications button because nobody wants to see Renee Moxley Good interview the conglomeration anymore. And why is Will Ocean Spray out there with these guys is the first thing I wrote. Why is Will Ocean Spray with these guys? I don't understand this. They make Mark Briscoe look like a complete, again, what was entertaining and fun a month ago has become cringy and desperate a month later. They've taken one of the better segments they've had, and they just go too far every time. They go too far. That's just, I can't even talk about it anymore, man.
I would put a rocket on Mark Briscoe's back. I would keep him in AEW Dynamite and just keep him out of Ring of Honor. I don't care about the legacy of him and his brother and all that. It's all over with. That's all in the past. Look to the future. I'd have Mark Briscoe take on somebody for a belt. Or for that matter, I would have, when Kingston ever returns, Fat Eddie Kingston, if he ever comes back with his busted leg. I'm sure he's gained about a good 80 pounds sitting around eating birria tacos and Cheetos.
He likes ice cream is what he said. He likes ice cream.
Eating ice cream with his hands while he's watching Rampage and tapes of Japan matches. When he comes back with his new girth, I hope him and Briscoe form a tag team and beat up the Young Bucks. Put a rocket on Briscoe's back. Every time he's on TV, I want to see more. When he's talking on TV, Don, when it's over, I say, is that it? I could have gone for another 5 minutes of that shit. He even made Kyle O'Reilly look interesting. Now, that's hard to do. But
the problem is that they're putting him in these segments that feel forced now, not natural.
It's all forced.
It's do something ridiculously over the top. And let's see. Ready and go.
Sure.
I just don't like it. That's just me.
Sure. Okay.
Okada versus... Okay, was this the end of the quarter?
When did that start? 8:15. 8:15 for the Okada match.
I think so. Yeah, it started there. It ran through 3 different segments.
Sure, from 8 o'clock to 8:15. How much do you think they lost? They started at 810,000.
810. I'm going to say they stayed around 720.
636, Don.
Oh, my God. 636?
It dropped. Everybody who got back from letting the dogs out and cooking a couple Hot Pockets and taking a squirt and getting another drink walked back to the couch and said, what is this shit? And they changed the channel.
Daniel Garcia, no thank you. I'm bailing on this already. I'm out. Somebody come talk to me next week when this pay-per-view's over. That's bad, man. I didn't think it'd be that damn bad.
Who are these 4 guys with the blonde? Why is the one guy got his finger and the other guy's cut and licking his fingers? I'm out of this. Then you had Okada.
830 rating. Yeah, what was the 830? Because that ran for a while.
Well, Okada was 815 to 830. So it didn't get any better, Don. It dropped even more. It dropped down to 614. Yes. It dropped down to 614,000.
Well, they got to come back up to meet their average then eventually. They're going to have to.
Yes. Yes. The demo even dropped. The demo even fell off a cliff. The demo was at 347, and that went down to 266 in 15 minutes.
Okada versus Kyle Fletcher, another match that you know who's going to win, right? I mean, it just is. Kyle Fletcher has got a good size. He's an athletic kid. But again, this is what I notice about his match. After every sequence where he gets a move in, he stops and yells and celebrates like he just won the damn match. Every time. No, but he's over the top with it. And I wrote this later. I couldn't tell because I noticed that it was bad this night, like you're saying. It kept happening in every match. So either the crowd was dead silent or they were just over the top with this bullshit tonight. Everything he did was just, I did another move. Everything. And I think Kyle Fletcher's got something, and they actually sold in this match, which I appreciated a lot. I appreciated that they sold.
Kyle Fletcher's got what?
Got good size. He's a good-looking kid. Looks like an athlete. What are you talking about? Where are you going? Have you been hanging out in the Blue Oyster again?
The Blue Oyster. No, I have not. Kyle Fletcher looks like he's been hanging out in the Blue Oyster with the David Bowie haircut, and he just looks.
Oh. I didn't mind this match, but it just went on too long.
He's in matches, just strung together matches, thrown together matches. He wrestled Ishii for Christ's sake last week. He's just wrestling he's just wrestling guys with no story, nothing to it. Just wrestling guys. Why is he wrestling Okada? Does Okada still have a belt?
Yeah, he's still that weird ass champion that
he's the Continental Classic champion. Yes.
That will be stripped of him once the next Continental tournament happens. So that makes sense.
Right. If they were smart, they wouldn't have another Continental tournament. They would just let it go.
Okada wins. You knew he was going to win. I didn't care.
That's a belt. That's a belt that Mark Briscoe should go after. I'd have him wrestle Okada for that belt.
Garbage. And a dumpster around back.
A dumpster around back. Yes. On the chicken farm.
Fish heads and livers.
In the chicken pen. Bitches.
I don't care about this. Here's what happened next. They have the Swerve segment, right, where he bought his mama's house.
Well, you left it out. Take a shit.
I don't think I left it out.
Take a shit. It came out. Post match. Ran off Okada. And obviously you didn't care, and no one else did, Don, because it dropped down to 614,000.
At 8:45, I take it when this thing ended.
8:15. That's 8:30. 8:30, and that was the beginning of the Swerve angle where he bought his mama's house.
Okay, I want to get into this now. A year ago, Swerve Strickland was the most over person in this wrestling company by far. Only person that might have been more over was MJF. He was coming up to, the Fatherless Bastard's house, beat him up in his garage. He was breaking into Hangman Adam Page's house, terrorizing his kids, giving them shirts, showing pictures. I mean, he was heel to the heel max. Mm-hmm. He was the most dastardly son of a bitch ever. And the fans loved him for it. This is just how fans are now, right? If you're doing bad shit, but you're good at it, it gets over. It's very Stone Cold-esque. I'm not comparing him and saying he's like Stone Cold. But Stone Cold was a heel, but he was a badass heel, and that everybody got behind it, right? He became a face because of it. He didn't change what he did necessarily. He might have changed how his matches went moving forward and maybe toned it down here and there, but it was the same thing. Well, this reminds me of when Diesel got his push in the WWF and became champion, right? All the fans loved Diesel because he was a badass. He had a badass look. He didn't take any shit. He powerbombed you. He talked trash. Once he got the belt, he's out there singing Merry Christmas like a dumbass, and they take all of the heat off of him. We got Swerve Strickland, who broke into a house a year ago, celebrating that he bought his original childhood home to give to his mama. We went from a B&E to a This Is Your House episode in a year. That's what I said. And that's what I talked to you, and you said, Dom, they're going to burn that bitch to the ground tonight.
Burn that bitch to the ground. That's what they're going to do.
That's what they're going to do. I knew there was an angle.
First, pal. You heard it right here.
I tweeted it out. We tweeted it out at 9:21 is what I said out there. 9:31. This is going to burn down. Bottles called it. I had not been keeping up with all the social media stuff this week. Hadn't seen any of it. Apparently, there was a clip out there with the fire department. So I'm going to talk about that when we get there because there's a lot to talk about. But he's out there buying his mama's house, and it's a feel-good moment. I've made enough money. He was there with his real estate agent,
Prince Nana, from Long and Foster. Prince Nana. From Realtor.com. I'm Prince Nana. Come see me.
Remember those commercials?
And we'll do the dance together.
So, as much as I like Swerve, they're
we'll do the dance
killing
of
this
celebration.
Guy. They're killing this guy's.
Killing him. Crushing him. Don't understand it. But I will say one thing. When he was doing that little spiel about buying the house, I don't know. I guess it was legit. He actually bought the house he grew up in. I guess that was true. I don't know. And I don't see how they could just dream this up as an angle. I think he bought the house that he grew up in, and someone said, "Hey, we can make an angle out of that. Let's burn that fucker to the ground." But he sounded great. He sounded like a baby face. He gave he called Nana his best friend. He gave him a hug. And
we're on different levels.
They're two men who look like they enjoy each other's company.
We're on two different levels, Bottle. I didn't like this because, like I said, a year ago, he was a cold killer. And now he's the happy guy. I'm happy. I got money. I'm here for AEW forever. Let me buy this house. I didn't like it. When did you see Stone Cold show up and be like, I just bought my mom a goddamn house. Here you go, mama.
Comparing everybody to Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I'm just comparing it to
He's
the
a
most
talent from the past, a once-in-a-lifetime talent, where the guy was held down for so long, and he finally broke through with that gimmick.
All right, well, then give me another heel that was so... Okay, here we go. Who was the last heel you can remember that was super over as a heel in WWE? That was just mega over. Mega over.
As a heel.
As a heel.
Could he become a face? Or just strictly a heel? Stayed a heel?
No, he's a heel, and he's fighting faces, but the fans loved his ass so much. Only one I can think of is Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar was just so over with Paul Heyman. But he wasn't even that over. I mean, he was, but... Okay, can you imagine Brock Lesnar? I'm so damn happy to be here. I bought my mama a house and watched the girl pee in a toilet. You're not getting that. That's my point.
Watch the girl pee in the toilet.
That's my point, pal. That was a joke, Brock. If you ever watch this show, I swear to God, it was a complete joke. I don't think you did it.
Brock Lesnar's now happy his name was mentioned on the podcast, and he's driving down from Canada right now. I'm going to kill that Virginia boy.
He's at home right now. It was always my dream to be mentioned on that podcast. I can't believe it finally happened. To hell with the WWE Championship. My name was on the Squared Circle Maniacs podcast. Like and subscribe. Hit that notification button. Super chat's open.
And the girl took a pee in the toilet. And I got a ring-a-ling with a ding-a-ling. Go ahead.
Jamie Hayter versus Renegade.
Renegade.
Have
you noticed that Jamie Hayter is still on the cusp of a new watch cycle? Have you noticed that?
Yes.
It's the same clothes.
I don't understand.
It's the same clothes.
Jesus
the same clothes
Christ.
from last week. The same clothes from All In. The same clothes.
I thought Renegade got in way too much offense in this match for me.
They always do that. They always do that. The jobber always gets in too much offense.
And this is what I took. Well, this is what I took note. Either the crowd is quiet because everything Hayter's saying I can hear. Just
the crowd was quiet all night, Don. Quiet all night. It's hard to stir up 2,000 people, Don. They probably told people to be quiet. They don't want the echo coming in from the other side of the arena that's empty. What more can you say?
I don't know. It ended and Hayter won. This thing was just the shits. And Hayter can wrestle. Like, I'm not upset about her. Like, you told me she could wrestle. She looked like she could do the moves. She fired up. She kisses the biceps. It wasn't bad, but she's been gone for a year. She's got to just come out and kick the shit out of somebody. She's been gone for a year. Come out and kick the shit out of somebody and get her back over as a megastar. And then they showed Saraya in the back. Saraya in the back. Like, match. She's doing bad moves. This is so crap. I saw that.
Terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. Oh, I could have taken that move. I've taken many moves.
And then it gets worse from there. I didn't think it was going to get worse, but no, we got to get a learning tree moment. We got to jam this in the middle of this shit with Roderick Strong in the Hook segment. Dude, I have been saying this for months. Are you finally going to admit that I'm right?
What's that?
Hook sucks.
His Hook does suck now, yes. They killed him. They killed him. When they had him talk and eat chips backstage during interviews and that stupid shit, they killed him. They killed Hook. Look what he did to my boy. They massacred my boy. They killed Hook.
He has been bad from day one. You had your blinders on. You had your eyes poked out. You were wearing 2 little covers on them so you couldn't really see him. Now you
had
can
Drew
see
McIntyre's thumbs in my eye sockets.
You did. You did. This whole thing was awful. This was gaslight bad.
If you've got a belt, Don, if you have a championship belt, why would you look for challengers?
I don't know.
Why would you look? Hey, Roderick Strong, I want to meet you in the ring. I want you to beat me up and try to take this belt.
This wasn't the learning tree segment. Sorry, that came later. I'm still thinking from all these guys being together a week ago. This was just Roderick Strong. Here's what got me, though.
Hey. This show's not going to continue if you can't keep your piles of shit in separate lanes, okay? Keep your piles of shit in separate lanes. This is the Hook and Strong polish.
I'm stepping in it everywhere. So here, I didn't mind that the reason that he wanted to defend the title was you did have your foot on the ropes. I saw it. I want to be an honorable champion. But that's not what he said. He said, you want it? You want the belt? I was like, oh, boy, this is going bad.
What, does anyone think about asking Roderick Strong, why is your wife running around with John Moxley? What the fuck's going on there? What'd she do to her hair? And how many times a day do you have to shoot her in the ass with a needle? What the hell's going on?
I can't wait to talk about that shit because that was next. We said enough about Hook and his god-awful segment.
Good.
Maria Shafir and Mox arrive. This isn't going away, is it? This isn't going to stop. Like, they're going to keep having this woman beat the shit out of men. And this is my issue with this already. There are some women out there that can beat the shit out of men. It doesn't happen every weekend in your local arena with security guards. I'm sorry, it doesn't. It just doesn't. I've done security at these buildings for wrestling shows. Yes, I actually have. Back when I was in the service, I'd come home on weekends. That's how I'd see a free WCW or WWF show. I'd go do security if they were in the town that weekend. I remember the last time I did it, I was sitting backstage, sitting in a chair. They put me in the back for some reason, watching the doors. I was like, well, this sucks. I'm not going to see you in the show. And Scott Steiner's roided up ass kicked the door in that I was in the room with and goes, find me a steel chair, not the one with the padding bullshit. And I was like, well, I got a reason to leave my station now. Let me saunter my ass in the back. So I'm walking all backstage looking for a chair.
You want one shaved down or you want a regular steel chair?
That guy had anger problems, man, for real. Oh, give me a steel chair and not all this padding shit.
That guy had horse semen shot into his ass every day.
I ran into DDP.
No, I mean shot with a needle into his ass, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Won't you clarify that? Anyway,
I want to get thrown off of YouTube. Go ahead.
Mox comes up to Jack Perry and says, I don't care what they are. You're a good kid. You're such a good kid. I'm looking for Darby Allin. I just want to see Darby Allin.
Because they have a history. They got a history. Camille should be doing the angle that Shafir is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be more believable. Good call, Gil, because she looks the part. This chick doesn't look the part. She just looks like another girl.
How many 5'3" women do you know of can lift a grown man up and throw him across a trunk or across the hood of a car?
Brock Lesnar's daughter.
Probably, yes. Maya Lesnar, yes.
Speaking of horse semen, just kidding. Jesus. Thank you, Gil, again. Appreciate it. This is when it goes to shit. And I said, okay, what were we at now? By the way, where are we at now, promo wise, all that for the
well, here we go. It's 651,000 people at 8:15.
We're at the 8:45, 9 o'clock.
8:45. We're at the 9 o'clock hour right now with Moxley.
What was 8:45? You said
6:14.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Went up a little bit at 6:51.
Okay, so they said it's a 9 o'clock hour. Let me check this out. Let me see if anything's changed. Because that's normally how it works.
Right.
If they don't see anything they like on the top of the hour, a lot of fans just say, to hell with it, I'll come back in an hour and see if this gets any better.
Well, let's see what we saw. We saw Hook. We saw Moxley and Marina Shafir. And then we saw the learning tree. So it's a trifecta of shit at the 9 o'clock hour. And people
There's so many piles. There's so many
piles of it. You gotta keep it separated. You got to keep them separated.
May versus Rose. I said, nope.
Hang on a second. Hang on a second. You left out one important thing.
I don't want to talk about Jericho.
Moxley's cutting that promo, and he lost track of what he was saying. He said, I can't believe I forgot that. And he finished the promo.
I didn't catch that. I zoned out. Did he really?
He forgot exactly what he was going to say. He stopped, looked around, chuckled to himself, said, I can't believe I forgot that. She's rubbing off on him, Don. The you don't know me girl is rubbing off on him. You know me. You don't know me. You know me. You don't know me.
You created the problem.
You created the problem.
I can't believe they're pushing this chick to the moon. All right, I guess we got to talk about it. We get the Jericho promo, the jacket flashback with Orange Cassidy. And this, again, this is that shit that I can't stand. Orange Cassidy just walks up to him and says, all right, I'll fight you next week, and just walks off.
You know, he told Low Plains Drifter, hey, tell Jericho that I'll fight you next week. That's no problem. And Jericho's standing right there, and Jericho's like, what? That I like that part of it of the interview, and I like not Bitter Bill. I like Big Bill. Bitter Bill. He's probably bitter now. Bitter Bill. That's a new nickname for him. Bitter Bill. He's in the background, and he said a few lines, and the guy sounds like $1 million. He looks like $1 million. He can talk. He can promo, and he's wasting his time with this bullshit. Go ahead, Don.
Again. The low plains drifter bursts out. Can you imagine the disrespect? It's just, but again, here's my point. The dude that you say owes you a jacket just walks by. And the three of you as a faction don't jump him and kick the living shit out of him?
Right.
What? Cody Rhodes comes out to face the Bloodline last year with all of them. He told him when he came to the ring, you're a damn fool. We're about to kick your ass. Told him. And then that's when he had all of his little buddies come out to protect him. Like, I didn't come alone because I knew you wouldn't. Again, this is that nonsense. This is that grab ass ha-ha storyline. It's just everything Jericho touches is trash.
There was a term you used last week or the week before, Don. It applies to all this shit. Middle school booking.
It is.
Booked by children.
May versus Rose. I'm not covering this.
Oh, it's so good.
What's the rating at 9:15?
643,000.
Okay, so they hung around for this.
They hung around for that. To see Mariah May wrestle. I'm not going to say the big Samoan individual.
I'm not getting into this. Then we get the Monet segment.
No. You got Deonna Purrazzo cut a promo where they shot her.
Did she? I must have been taking a piss. Snooki was back.
Snooki was back. She cut a promo at a table in a dark room. You only saw her from the boobs up, which is a good thing.
Snooki's back. She's been gone for a while.
Well, she's relegated to Rampage now. She's spending time on Rampage, the island of misfit toys known as AEW Rampage. That's where it's over there.
Could you imagine what she thinks every day she wakes up on that show if you're Snooki? What did I do?
Who did I piss off?
Why does he hate me?
They want me to cut a promo for Dynamite. I'm going to have a pre-tape. Oh my God. I just soiled myself.
Has anybody fallen as hard as she has in the past like 3 or 4 months? Like she's fallen completely off the cliff.
Off the cliff. She's sitting there with a bustier type top on, strapless, of course, and you can see where she was tanning. Her bathing suit strap on her shoulders, bright as day, hanging down, which is like 5 shades lighter than the rest of her body. Could they touch that? Don't they have spray tans? WWE has a spray tan artist in the back where they hose you down with that shit once you get to the arena. When you're back in makeup, they hose you down. This portion of the show is sponsored by Jimmy C. Jimmy C Wrestling.
We have some haters in the audience too, actually.
Spread out the tarp,
guys, because Gil had it up there so fast. Good call, Gil. Thank you again for the $1.99. We love you, Jimmy C. It's all a good fun, pal. I didn't care about this segment. She looked
terrible. They could have covered that. It looks like she was on her way to Walmart. She probably wore pajama pants and Crocs under the table and the rest of the outfit.
No, she said a boo-boo and Crocs.
I'm going to cut this promo and I'm going to Walmart. I'm going to get one of them big bags of Cheetos and a 30-pack of Mountain Dews. They got them on sale, don't you know?
They call those
and some tampons. I got to get some tampons. Go ahead.
All right, I'm not going down that.
And a home pregnancy test.
Mo-Day segment. Hikaru Shida came out dressed like
Solo Sikoa.
Came out dressed like Solo Sikoa. Are you shitting me right now? Did they think nobody would notice this shit?
Oh my God.
She was dressed like Solo Sikoa.
She was dressed like Solo Sikoa, but she sounded better. She got a better promo than Solo Sikoa. She actually got a good promo. She started to get a little off the rails there with the accent. She was a little bit. She got a little excited, pal. It almost descended into,
It was getting wild.
I'm telling you right now, Mercedes, all out. I'm going to beat your ass.
She was starting to fall back in that WWE trope, if you ask me. Thank you, Pablo. Greatly appreciate the $1.99. We appreciate you always watching. Please like and subscribe. Hit the notifications button. We have fun with you guys. We hope you guys have fun, guys and gals. It's a show for everybody where we try to unite as wrestling fans and overcome some of this nonsense that we have to watch. Here's what happened. Camille is banned from ringside. That was the bottom line of it.
Oh, no.
I bet she comes out in a mask, Bottles. What do you think? Do you think she comes down in a mask?
Oh, I think she'll come out as a cameraman.
In a mask.
And a mask. Cameraman in a mask. Beard. Fake glasses.
Then we get the Elite and the Jack Perry.
Shivani will say, it's Camille!
Again.
You want to know what the rating was for this?
Yeah, go ahead.
This is where the bottom of the ship, the hull of the ship scraped the bottom.
Mercedes Monet or the Elite?
Both.
Or are they together?
597.
So they're together.
597,000. The Elite cut a promo. The Elite cut a promo after Mercedes Monet Japanese anime schoolgirl outfit promo.
And said, I don't need no more of this shit. I'll see y'all in a week.
Right. Then you have Blackpool Combat Club.
Hold on. I'm not done with this.
What?
Why does Jack Perry have the Mr. Potato Head mustache going on?
Why does he have anything going on?
No. Tell me that son of a bitch didn't watch Toys and said, I want that mustache later in life.
I don't understand why they're actually pushing this kid. I would just
tell me he doesn't have a Mr. Potato Head mustache.
He does.
Okay. I'm just saying. It's bizarre.
The whole thing's bizarre. Why would you push this guy as a killer? It's ridiculous. They're like they look like 3 little kids cosplaying as wrestlers. That's what it looks like. I don't know.
And Daniel Bryanson comes out. Bryan Danielson, whatever you want to call him, comes out. What is his name for real? I have run out of names. Daniel Bryanson, right? That's his name. Dude, I'm sorry. At this point in time, My handwriting's getting scribbly. I can't handle what I'm watching.
Stroke. Are you having a stroke? Is that what
it's
it says?
Getting close.
This is all about you're having a stroke.
It's getting close. Bryanson
Daniel
comes out
Bryanson. Bryan Danielson is his real name.
I don't care.
We can get Jim Ross in here, and he can pronounce the names better than you can.
I'm done with trying to remember this guy's 400 nicknames. I'm just going to start calling him the American Dragon.
The American Dragon. Exactly. The American Dragon. The American Dragon was on commentary.
And the OC match, I said, I'm out. I'm not watching this shit. And I really did change the channel. I was like, nah, I'm not watching this. And then I wrote down, so PAC is part of this group now? I'm done.
Why hasn't anyone in that group said, where's Moxley? Where's Mox? Where's Mox?
You're right. No one has said
here?
He's suddenly out. He's suddenly gone.
He was gone, and now he's back. But he's running around with Roderick Strong's wife. Renee, I hate to tell you this, but he's in the back with Roderick Strong's wife.
I didn't care about this. The Bucks came out. I don't give a shit. This thing couldn't end fast enough. I did enjoy the next.
So
it came back.
It came back a little bit. Yeah. Came back a little bit.
The next portion of the show I actually liked. PAC beat the shit out of Ocean Spray and said, don't forget about me. I told you, you keep looking past me. I'm liking what they're doing with PAC right now.
One of the best things on the show.
Work.
He's one of the best guys on the show.
It's serious work. He has a serious demeanor. He's not messing around. I remember I get a title shot and you keep ducking me, boy. Where's my match? There's a pay-per-view this weekend.
He's not a big guy, but if you put both young bucks together, shoulder to shoulder, they're just about as wide as PAC is. He's a muscular bastard. Built like a fire hydrant with a greasy haircut, with a greasy mop on top. That's what he looks like to me.
What was the 7 o'clock hour when this thing went, or not the 10 o'clock hour when this thing went off the air and went into the overrun?
675, Don. 675. I'll tell you what the overrun is.
They came back. Tell me what the overrun is real quick.
665. So they lost 10,000 people.
Well, they held on, though. I'm not going to complain about that. They held on.
Yeah. Right.
This got people's attention. So here's what happened. Swerve comes to the ring to sign the contract. I wrote down, this is never going to happen. You know where this is going. They showed his house, and you know Hangman's going to be there. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. They cut back to the house. There's Hangman clearly pouring what appears to be gasoline throughout the home. You can hear it splattering. And I said, Bottles nailed this. They're going to burn this son of a bitch to the ground. They're going to burn this house to the ground. I don't know if they bought the house. I don't know if the house was condemned. I don't know if it was a house that was a practice house that was condemned for the fire department. They got in on it. You know what I'm saying? There's a million different ways this could have gone. I don't know the end result of it.
Could have been many, many reasons why they had a spare house like this they could get rid of. Maybe somebody bought the land and they're going to tear the house down and build a bigger house on that property. Who knows? Who knows?
Here's what I do know, okay? And this is when you know the direction of the company's not going the way it should be. Pablo says the crowd, if there is one, should say this is awful. Clap, 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 clap. But they're never gonna, Pablo. They all eat all the crayons that Tony gives out in kindergarten class every day. They just eat the shit out of them. Do I get to eat my Do I get to eat my crayons today? You do get to eat your crayons. Just eating the crayons, sucking down the glue. It's a shit show in that kindergarten class. Here's the thing about this whole segment. They start walking out the front of the house or the side of the house or somewhere in the house. And you can tell he's going to write this bitch up and set it on fire. The problem is it doesn't look like any part of the house that you saw throughout the show when they showed it earlier. So it doesn't look like the same house. It doesn't have the same aesthetic. It's a completely different shot of the house that you didn't see from a clear angle at any point in the whole show. This is the shit that you've got to keep in mind when you're going to do an angle like this. And this is just a fan.
They try to keep the camera on him in a tight shot. You'll notice it was a tight shot. He was shot from the chest up. His chest, shoulders, and head filled the screen. When you heard a splash, every so often you look to the bottom left corner of the screen, you can see a flash of a red plastic container, which was the 5-gallon can of gasoline.
That's gasoline, son. Is it really? Yes, it is.
Yes.
So when he went outside to light the fire, my initial thought just watching this was, is he at the same fucking house or not? Because it doesn't look anything like what I've been watching for the last 2 hours of this show and every social media post that I went and looked for after I saw this coming up all night. And he lights it ablaze, and there's a house going up like an inferno, or in an inferno, I should say, and they close. Great moment. Amazing segment. Really good sports entertainment, dare I say, WWE-esque. But you lost me when you didn't come out the front door, so I knew it was the same damn house with the bushes in the front. That's when you lost me, and I lost the hook.
Right. You know, if they had any smarts, they would have on social media today, they would have footage of police arresting Hangman Adam Page at his house.
For arson.
He burnt a man's house down on live television. Burnt a man's house down on live TV. And everyone saw it. All 660,000 people saw it. Well, no, I take that back. Yeah, 660,000 people saw it. So, have him locked up, take him away, and say the match for All Out's canceled. Swerve's going to have a new opponent. Blah, 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 blah. And have Swerve wrestle some poor mook on the pay-per-view. And out of nowhere, Hangman Adam Page got bailed out of jail. He arrives at the pay-per-view and beats the piss out of Swerve Strickland and douses him with gasoline.
No, we're not doing that now. We're not doing no more gasoline angles. This ain't the Darby Allin moment.
Or just beat the piss out of the guy.
Which, by the way, this is 2 times in the past 2 months they've used the gasoline segment. Do they have a damn subscription with an Exxon card at this point in time? Are they buying profit shares?
They've got the Gas Buddy app on their phone, Don. That's how they figure out where it's cheap. They're getting it from Costco.
This is where it went off the rails for me as a fan watching this, because I wanted to have, I was like, oh shit, he's in the house. And then when he walked out and there was a big porch, I was like, where's the bushes? That's not the same house. It wasn't until later today that people, the AEW neckbeards that can't stand to have their precious company criticized, were like, no, it's the same house. If you look here from this shot, you could see over here. And if you look over here, it's a wider shot. And this is when you can see the bushes and you can see the columns and the brick. And I'm going to circle all these points so you know it's the same house. Just come out the front fucking door.
They said all that? They said all that?
Oh,
They said it pretty clearly with a whole pack of Little Debbie's honey buns in their mouth.
Again, come out the front of the house. It's not that hard. If you're going to burn the son of a bitch to the ground anyway, what does it matter? Or show him going into the front of the house with the gasoline.
How about this? How about this? How about have Swerve and his realtor, Nana Prince Esquire, his realtor, appear in front of that house they're going to burn down? And he could say, this is my childhood home. I'm so happy I bought this. Why couldn't they cut that piece of business in front of the dummy house that they're going to burn down? So there's no question involved. They burned down his house. Look, they're standing on the porch. They just walked out the front door. They were standing on the porch. He hugged Nana. He's so excited. He's got the deed to the house. He's got the keys. Blah, 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 blah.
Because they were supposed to do the signing. They were doing the contract signing on the show that night. That's why.
Right.
He wanted to do it when he wasn't there. I get that part. But again, walk in the front door or walk out the front door where everybody saw the bushes.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? Use the dummy house for the whole bit. For the Swerve and Nana standing there.
I don't think it was. Models, I don't think it was a dummy house. I really believe it was the same house he was standing in front of. It was the same house. I don't believe for 1 second that's actually his childhood home, Bottles. Not for a second. Do I think he might have bought his childhood home? Yes, I do. Do I think
Well,
that was the childhood home? No, I do not. Not
Okay,
for
then.
a minute.
Okay, then.
I think that might have been a house that was either ready for it to be destroyed or one of those deals, whatever you want to say about it. That's all I'm saying. I think he probably bought his real childhood home. That ain't the one. That's all I'm saying. That's it. I want to thank everybody for watching tonight. We had a good time reviewing the AEW, talking about some news. There's one more bit of news to talk about before we go. Real quick.
What?
Adam Copeland says he is back to rehabbing his leg. And it's going to be a long process. He's not ready for the ring yet, but he started to do some light training. Adam Copeland, I liked you a lot when you were in the WWE. I thought what you did was really groundbreaking. Your Rated R Superstar gimmick was quite amazing. You are a 50-year-old man jumping off the top of a 20-foot cage to delight a few thousand people. You have children. You have a wife. It's time to go home. There's no need to come back to this company. Quietly retire. Say you've had a good time. You appreciate the opportunity, but it's time to walk off into the sunset.
We got film of the light training if you'd like to see it.
No, I know what you're going to do. You're a son of a bitch.
Oh, I had the wrong. I'm sorry, I had the wrong clip. Little light training. You know, you gotta get right. Don, when you fall off the bike, you gotta get right back up on it. You fall off the horse, jump back on the horse,
or the trailer,
or the trail.
As the car drives through with Nana in the front seat. What's Billy doing up there? Oh my God!
There's a Jamaican guy driving the car again.
Again, I want to thank everybody for watching. Please like and subscribe. We'll be back later. Hit that notifications button. Appreciate all the support, really. Hope to see you guys when we do the next show. Bottles.
Absolutely. Yes.
I know somebody who hates the Kansas City Chiefs.
I know a guy who wouldn't buy a house from Prince Nana.
Till next week, Gordon Soley saying so long from the